quirky idea on how we're going to be able to achieve it. So in Minecraft, there's a statistic. Oh my god, that's hard to say. There's a statistic called sneak time, and what I could do is make a scoreboard that tracks that statistic called link. Then to test it, I use a command block to see if anyone's click score is higher than 1, and if so, in chat it says which works. And then above that, I can reset the click score for the person that just execute whatever they want to execute. So now if I crouch, it should only execute once, and yes, okay, that works. This is the dumbest thing ever, but now I have to connect it. So now what I'm thinking for buttons is I can actually go behind the screen and remove the back of the monitor. So now we have an exposed back, which is good. And what we could do is we could grab a few random blocks like magma, and behind each pixel of the screen where I want a function to be, I can place a random specific block there. This will make sense later. For now, I'm just gonna fill the entire typing bar with magma. So now whenever I click it, instead of going it should now clone the block -2 blocks behind the cursor to armor sand over to this spot here. Okay, so now if I control the mouse over here on the screen and then click, okay, there's magma over there. That's perfect. And if I click to this other spot here, it should replace it with hacked ice. Yep, okay. The reason I cloned the block over to here is because what we can actually do is run some redstone through it to activate a bunch of command blocks over here to identify which block actually just got cloned over. And then from there, we can just make it do whatever instructions the buttons told it to do. So let's say an ice block got cloned over there. It then activates this line of command blocks, which does the instructions for a split second, then removes the ice itself so it can reset. So each little appearance of a block here counts as a click. And with this, I can just continue this concept for every single button I want to do. I just have to add a code block behind it. I decided to call it code block because it sounds cool. So I began.
On the frontier, Jinzhou rests, where perilous fog does crest. Dangerous beasts may hide, they say. Bandits too, their blades do slay. Or perhaps a wayfarer's escapade. Seeking foes yet unknown, the maiden journeys all alone. Kind courier offers a ride she gladly partakes. Ahead they go, fog fading in their wake. Criminals lurk, plotting schemes, counting gains. Our maiden vows to foil their plans. Like rabbits they flee, uninvited crooks she seeks.
My patience finally paid off. Vanquish. Judgment. Eradicate. No mercy.
Petals cascade, with grace they sway. Pure as ever she wipes her face. Adorned with jade, dispelling fear, bringing hope near.
Manufacturing iron doors for as long as we have it. You learn a thing or two. Quality is our most important aspect that we're striving for when building an iron door. One thing that our doors can do is provide that security needed to give our clientele a sense of safety inside their home. I think it starts at the beginning. It starts with the design process and the engineering behind the doors. And there's really not much limit to what we can't do from a design standpoint. I think the most rewarding thing is finishing a project and not meeting our customers' expectations, but exceeding them.
tapping on the first instructions to get ready to type. But first, before I explain what I'm trying to do, you know how on Discord, before you're able to actually type, you must click this gray marker at the bottom, and then it does this weird blink flash thing, and then you're able to type. So what I did to replicate this in Minecraft is if you click the bottom bar here, then it pushes these two pistons up, connecting the redstone from this physical timer to these command blocks, which alternates the changing blocks on the typing bar. And if you wish to stop typing, you must click somewhere else on the screen, like this air or this picture button down here, which literally just says picture at the moment because we haven't gone to that. But now comes the complicated actual part of this: typing. Of course it's typed, so I began by staying up till 3 AM building a keyboard to go underneath the screen. And I recorded it all, thinking this time lapse would be, oh, so cool and quirky, but no, right when I was about to finish it, this happened. I tried adding a layer slabs over the keyboard because I thought it'd make it look pretty, but when I was filling, I forgot to add the replace air part, which ended up destroying the entire keyboard. I didn't have a backup either, so I ended up doing what any wise person would do, and instead of going to bed, I decided to rebuild the entire dang keyboard. Hey, it's a miracle, I'm done. I went to bed after that. Oh, quick common question, by the way. How are you going to be able to control the keyboard while you're on the block? Well, obviously, I just made another cursor just for the dang keyboard. And also, what's neat is I made it so it only appears when you're actually ready to type. But now, because we actually have a cursor for the keyboard, we can actually do the same thing that we did with the screen, which is remove the backside of the keyboard and plant out a bunch of code blocks for each one of the keys. And because so whenever I click on a key, the code block underneath it gets into a new examination spot. Then I went ahead and recreated every single keyboard character standing up next to one another inside the random computer spot. It may not look like it, but each one of these white splooges here are actually letters and characters. I could then tighten so each code block underneath the keyboard represents the character that's above it. Then I hooked it up so whenever a key is pressed, it adds +1 score to a typing scoreboard, and removes 1 score whenever you click backspace, so each letter comes after one another on the screen. So now whenever a block is cloned over, it determines what letter was typed based on which block appears. Then it figures out where to place it based on how high the typing scoreboard is at. Because each typing score has a different location on the screen, maxing out at 14 because that's the max amount you can type in one line. Once it's determined that, then it clones over each character from within the white character blob area over to the screen. So with that, you can now finally type letters and do backspace to the new